magazine called Almost Famous. So I included conventions such as a skyline, masthead and tagline, full quotes, barcode, date and price. And I included these because during my research on existing magazines I found that like all the successful ones use these. And I think it makes it like really accessible to the reader because they can like see the tone of the magazine, the style of it, and so especially from the full quote they can see like the kind of what the interview is going to be about. And for social groups, well, my artists are kind of indie rock genre of music, and my target audience is like focuses on that music. So they've got extensive use of coloured eyeliner and coloured streaks in their hair, and this kind of takes individuality and not being afraid to be different from social norms. I've got a house style of black, red, white and grey, and I think although these are like fairly serious colours, they reflect like a serious attitude and value towards music, and this is something I found that during my survey, like my feedback from that my audience appreciated. The image on the front cover appears natural, and like they're comfortable being different, and they're comfortable with their style of music and their style of dress. And the image on the double page spread suggests rebellion because of the alcohol, cigarettes, and like their outfits. And I think this represents the indie social group quite well. My media product was compared to NME magazine during my audience surveys. So I think that it could be distributed by IPC Media, who distribute this magazine, and it could be sold in shops such as WH Smith's, HMV, and maybe supermarkets and things like that. The audience for my magazine is teenagers and young adults, typically ranging from 16 to 25. And they're not really into mainstream music. My reader profile that I created like shows that they like fashion, technology, and things like that. They like socialising, and although they like new technologies and things, I found that they also like listening to CDs, so they like that as well. To attract and address my audience, I used SurveyMonkey, and I created several surveys. The first was to inform me of like my target audience's preferences and what they looked for in a magazine and what was appealing to them. And the second gave me feedback on my magazine and told me whether I'd achieved like my goal of like appealing to this audience. And I found that most people liked my magazine. They thought it represented the genre of music well. They said it was a reasonably priced, and I got some like comments like on how to change it and improve it, and the most suggested improvement was to change the text on the double page spread because it's not very easy to read. Throughout the project I've used Photoshop, Blogger, SurveyMonkey and SlideShare mostly, and I've used Photoshop to like create my work, and I feel that I've improved on this. Like, I've learned a lot about this throughout the project. I've learned how to use brushes and tools on there. Blogger I use to upload my work, and I found that a really successful way of uploading my work, so you've got it all in one place, you can view it easily. SurveyMonkey I used to create the surveys for my audience feedback, and I found that's like a really successful way of doing that because I got all the feedback. I was then able to analyse it and look at it and take it on board when creating my magazine. And I use SlideShare to upload presentations, which I can then put on my blog, and I found that really good, and I didn't know about that before this project, so I found that really useful. My preliminary task, the first one, the CD cover, I think that was quite good for like the aimed to, like, it had a set audience and it was aimed towards that, and it represents social groups that might listen to that kind of music. And then my college magazine, I think I like researched it and I got some of the conventions on there, and like some sense of purpose and focus of like who I'm aiming it towards. Then I think through greater research on existing magazines and observation of what's already being used, that I've definitely improved like on my final projects. I've got the conventions and it just looks tidier and it's got a clear target audience.
Thanks very much. Can we just go back to that last slide? So just to be clear, who is going to sell your magazine? Where's it going to be sold and who's going to distribute it?
I reckon it could be sold in shops like WH Smith's or HMV, like shops like that. But then I think maybe it could be sold in supermarkets as well.
Okay. Major competitor?
NME magazine.
NME, okay. And in a sentence, a target audience, who's going to buy this magazine?
People who are interested in indie music and unsigned artists.
Age group, demographic?
Maybe 16 to 25.
16 to 25. Okay, thank you very much.